So I'm out looking for inspiration, soaking up spring, because I need to build something for this plant. What is it? Hops. It's a hops plant. So what is hops, you may ask? Well, when you combine hops, barley, yeast and water, you get something most of us know well. Beer. Hops provides a lot of flavor, including that bitter sense in IPAs, for example. Now, I live in the Pacific Northwest, which happens to grow like over 90% of all the hops in the US. Apparently the weather here is just ideal for it, which might contribute to the rather enthusiastic beer culture here. In fact, many restaurants in my town usually have a few hop vines growing outside, so I thought I would take a walk and get some inspiration. You know, maybe I'm a little early in terms of the season because there aren't any hops out here. But hey, it doesn't hurt to look at the planters for some ideas because, you know, that's what I'm building anyway. Finally, a hops plant at this bar. It's pretty small right now, but these things grow high over the summer. In fact, they can be quite productive, these plants, and this baby in particular has produced quite a bit over the last few years. Here's some of last year's harvest stored in the freezer, which I am saving for the one day when I'll actually brew beer. Whenever that may be. But back to the planter. I have cedar. I have really cool cedar. Thick, rough-sawn 2x12s. But you know, maybe it's a little too thick for this use. I rather like the barrel concept, and especially the metal. I don't want the planter round, I want it square. So maybe brackets would be a nice addition. I mean, I feel like making a planter with metal and wood. I mean, maybe fence boards. Fence boards are great. They're cheap and they have a good size. You know, I also have some e-pay left over from another project, cut in posts. So maybe something like this. Ooh, I don't know. Doesn't fit. I'd better try something else. Okay, let's try that. You know, that might work better. Let's try that. I like that. So what did I do here? Let's start from the beginning.
Please listen carefully.
Well, I cut the fence boards down a bit to 6 3/4 inch width and 15 7/16 inch length. I also cut the e-pay in half, so I ended up with 1x2s to work with instead of 2x2 posts. I cut 8 pieces of 1x2 e-pay down to 13 7/8 inch length. So I decided on 2 vertical cedar boards for each side, so I combined 2 and 2 together with pocket screws and glue. However, you could have just used glue if you had more patience. I connected the cedar together like a box, first with glue and a nail gun, and then I put on some 6 inch by 1.5 inch metal corner brackets at 3 inch from the top and 3 inches from the bottom. I now had a box. I countersank some holes in the e-pay and screwed the boards down to cap the top and the bottom of the cedar, leaving 1/2 inch overhang all around the sides. I stacked both the e-pay and the cedar when creating the box and the capping, so all of the boards measured the same size. I also cut out some feet out of Ipe that I simply glued and stapled on, and I put down a bottom by simply resting 2 cedar boards measuring 12 and 7/8 inches by 6 and 3/8 inches on the inner lip. And the planter is complete. Now, to keep it this way and prevent the cedar from graying over time, I decided to apply some spar urethane. All in all, I used a total of 32 galvanized 1¼ inch exterior screws on the top and 64 half-inch screws for the brackets. That's quite a few screws. And that's pretty much it. Now all that's left is filling this baby up with dirt and replanting the hops. Liking your new box? So the hops have a home, and I rather like the way it came out. Of course, I used Ipe, cedar and metal here, but you can use whatever materials you have on hand. It doesn't really matter. If you aren't already subscribed to my second channel, Darbin Notes, make sure to check that out. That's where I put out shop updates and I do various tests. And just other things that don't make it to the main channel. Also, I do this full time, so if you like what I do, then please consider checking out my shop or visiting my Patreon page. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!